words. Good morning, double tapping hillbilly. Brother, the gigantic pot and the giant spoon that you sent, that we were like, why do we have this? Why will we ever use this? What were you thinking, double tapping hillbilly? Yeah, we've used the hell out of it the last few days, and I appreciate you. So thank you for being obedient to the spirit and sending it, because it definitely got used. Also, this tripod that you're on is made of YHWH C batteries, because best information, worst production value. This is coffee, by the way. Good morning, everybody. Bear, independent, brief, 24, October 21. Authoritarians are trying to get the most out of their heyday. Last month, Austria announced lockdowns for the unvaccinated. People who do not feel safe taking the mRNA vaccine are only allowed to leave home for essential causes, to buy food or to work. Hashtag make us. Hundreds protested at the Capitol, claiming that the ruling was a violation of their personal freedoms and right to have bodily autonomy. Any person violating the lockdown orders can be fined the equivalent of $572. Thank you, Dux Garnafex. Mucho preciado, hombre. It could be almost 3 times that, over $1,600, if they refuse to participate in public spot checks, which is when police are stopping people to verify their vaccine status. Your papers, please. The BBC wrote, the far-right Freedom Party has said it will create a group of second-class citizens. Yeah, I agree. The idea that this could be coming to a government near you is sounding less and less of a reach. Boston's mayor, Michelle Wu, has implemented a new demand for her city. Quote, starting on January 15th, 2022, individuals will be required to show proof of COVID-19 vaccination to enter certain indoor spaces like restaurants, fitness facilities, entertainment spaces, and certain meeting places in Boston, end quote. I don't know if she's aware, but nobody cares. Nobody cares. And I know that certain people, some people, have lost a lot of people due to the COVID. I was talking with a brother yesterday, I believe it was, a couple days ago at least. He lost like 22 people that he knew to COVID. That sucks. You still don't get to tell me what I can and can't do. And he's not trying to, right? Freedom über alles. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal and endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, and among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It's 2022 damn near, and we're still talking about locking people down for respiratory virus. We're going to come back to that because there's something I want to talk about with that. NBC Boston quoted Heather White, the founder and CEO of TrillFit Fitness Studios, quote, "We are not well if we are not vaccinated." Disagree. So we stand here proud to support Mayor Wu and her team's leadership as we trust in the science. We believe the experts, and we move forward to do what it takes to slow the spread of COVID-19. What was your name? Where is it? Heather White, the founder and CEO of TrillFit Fitness Studios. Heather White, you are entitled to your opinion. However, you have my permission to kiss my ass. That is some canned horseshit right there. That January 15th deadline mentioned also applies to city workers. The remaining 10% that have not taken the shot must do so as a condition of employment. Clearly, that's ripe ground for a lawsuit, and union leaders are already looking to pursue legal action. Boston First Responders Unit issued a call to action. Quote, "We especially remind our fellow members of law enforcement that civil rights and workers' rights cannot be suspended, abridged, or revoked in America." I'm going to read that again. Boston First Responders United issued a call to action. Quote, "We especially remind our fellow members of law enforcement that civil rights and workers' rights cannot be suspended, abridged, or revoked in America." Exactly. One of its members, Shana Katone, told the NBC Boston, "These are our rights. Our rights are not negotiable. Why is it vaccine or fired, jabs or jobs? It's not right. We are from the city. We live in the city. We work for the city. These are our communities. We want to serve them." As the relatively toothless Omicron spreads in the U.S., officials are already pushing for boosters. The reporting is constantly emphasizing the incredible infectiousness of the variant, but fails to discuss the dangers of the virus, which was in a previous brief. There are also warnings of simultaneous outbreaks of both the Delta and the OmicrYAWN variant as their respective waves of infection overlap. I don't care. I don't care about the messaging from the federal government about how we're all supposed to be living in fear of this thing. Jared at Guns and Gadgets, who's near to Boston, actually. Jared at Guns and Gadgets reported yesterday, I believe it was, although my last 11 days have just strung together. I don't even know what's going on. But he reported that the United States Supreme Court is picking up two cases, vaccine mandate versus healthcare workers and vaccine mandate versus federal contractors. That's awesome. Some people would say, well, what happens if, there's a Supreme Court precedent set that you have to do these things? Well, let's look at the best case scenario. The Supreme Court says, no, you don't have to do these things. They're unconstitutional. Cool. That puts that to bed for once and for all. Let's say they do say you have to do these things. That's really what I want to talk about. That's what I said, hey, we'll come back to that in a moment. We currently, me and my team right now, are in a federally declared emergency disaster zone right now, with the full support of the President of the United States of America, the Commander-in-Chief, with the National Guard deployed, working tirelessly around the clock to direct traffic and man checkpoints, and barely do that, frankly, with coordination with local and state entities that are nowhere to be found to help these people recover from this storm. People, they're not doing shit. They've never done shit. They're never gonna do shit. Every single storm that I've ever worked ever, from Hurricane Katrina to now, when the full weight of the federal government of the United States of America is brought to bear, you can barely notice that they are there. Barely. You can barely notice that they're there. Well, what happens when they roll in 3, mechanized divisions and striker brigades? They start lighting up your neighborhood. That's an entirely different conversation, but if you can't realize that 3 striker brigades are in your neighborhood and therefore you get bodied, you probably deserved it at that point. Your intel sucked. We don't want your DNA in the new America. Okay, so self-solving problem right there. Also, take the tinfoil off your head and let's think real thoughts for a moment. The United States federal government is weak currently. It's uncoordinated. These people are not coming to save you, and they're not coming to enslave you. Let me repeat that. They're not coming to save you, and they're not coming to enslave you. All you have to do is say, no. No. Well, you have to do this thing or else. No. No, I don't. Well, then you'll lose your job. Cool. I'll get another one. Well, you can't live in this city. Cool. I'll live somewhere else. Well, your kids can't go to this school. Cool. I'll teach them myself, or I'll take them to a different school. Personal responsibility, homeboys, homegirls. You're not going to hurt my feelings if you push me further outside of your bullshit system. Which, by the way, is completely made up and ineffectual. The money's fake. The money has no value. The things that you can buy with the money when you run on their hamster wheel, the big house at the end of the cul-de-sac with the nice cars and the trophy wife with the bleach blonde hair and the fake boobs and the blah, blah. It's all fake, right? And your fake friends at your fake church driving your fake pickup truck on your beautiful roads with the fake schools and the fake grass in the backyards. For what? It's all make-believe. It's all fake. Why do you want the privilege of playing in that game? No, I'm not doing it. No. Well, sir, you have to put this thing in your arm. No. Oh, well, if you don't do it, we will put this thing in your children's arms. No. And I consider the use of that thing deadly force. Don't make me respond in like kind. No. And so, from one American to another, sitting in the center of a federally declared emergency disaster zone, with the full weight of the United States of America brought to bear on this situation, what the hell are you so afraid of? No. No, not doing it. Not doing it. They're going to come and get you? No, they're not. Not if you got a pair of balls. So, continue to pray for the people here, if you would, please. They need it. We need it. Grindstone Ministries needs it. We appreciate you. Theblaze.com, by the way, if you're on Patreon, you have this with all the links. If you're not on Patreon, you don't. So shout out to the patrons. I appreciate y'all. The state of Michigan has found that schools with mask mandates had precisely the same rate of COVID transmission as schools without mask mandates, yet again proving that once something is in the air, it doesn't matter about the mask, right? Well, the mask stops the water globules and the particulates, and then shut the F up. No, it doesn't work. So again, the state of Michigan, schools with masks, mask mandates, had the same rate of COVID transmission as schools without mask mandates. In other words, the net gain of the mask, sorry, I got an itch. The net gain of the mask was imperceptible and or non-existent. And then from the whitehouse.gov, I did a little bit of digging on this morning to see if there was any specificity that we need to be concerned about. And as a matter of fact, there's not. It's just a blah, blah, and fluff. The White House's 6-point plan 6-point plan to deal with the Omicron variant. Step 1 is vax the unvaxxed. Negative. Step 2, further protect the vaxxed. Okay. I was looking at that. What does that look like? On the website, whitehouse.gov. No specificity on how to further protect the vaxxed. So, just a nice talking point. Step 3, keep schools safely open. Again, getting back to that study in Michigan, the social distancing and the masks and the plexiglass everywhere, it doesn't matter. It's horseshit. It doesn't work. We know it doesn't work, but a bunch of freaking cucks went along with it because they didn't want to make their masters upset. People bitch and moan about slavery without realizing that they are a slave to the system, and this system is designed to get you indebted. Go read Proverbs. A debtor is enslaved to his debt. Keep schools safely open. Step 3. Step 4 is increase testing and masking requirements. Increase testing and masking requirements. Now, I looked for specificity in this as well, and there was none. It didn't say that we're going to now require that 3 times per week, all unvaxxed people need to do X, Y, Z. It doesn't say that. It doesn't say that anywhere, at least not at the White House. But that gives them plenty of room to maneuver. That's, that's a statement you could drive a truck through. And it also shows, or it also means that any marginal statistical increase and here's why I bring this up. Because the doomsdayers will say, see, they're gonna say that if you haven't been tested 4 times per week without the jab, that they're gonna take and throw you into the internment camps. Well, first of all, homeboy, they're not taking me anywhere, just so we're clear. They're not taking you anywhere unless you let them, you lazy, timid cuck. Okay? So, the crazy people would say, see, this is what they're going to do. They're going to test you 17 times per week and then put you in camps if you don't comply. I think you misunderstand the strength of the federal government. What I think is, this means that if they show any modicum, any tiny little variance in the upward direction of testing and masking, they can say, see, we've had an increase in testing and masking. It could be 4%. And they go, look at that. We've had a 4% increase in testing and masking. I think the vagaries, and this is why I'm saying this, I think the vagaries in this 6-point plan for dealing with Omicron is not to give the government room to operate. It's not for plausible deniability. It's not for cover for action. It's not that. It's that they don't have the resources to operate. We've been intentionally avoiding FEMA out here because they don't have their own A-teams staffed up, because their own A-teams are required to be fully vaxxed plus a booster, and half of their people said, hey boss, hey, you just look this way while I scratch my beard. There we go. I'm not coming to work today or ever again. Half of FEMA's own people didn't come to work and aren't gonna come to work this storm or any other, because they won't do it. So, the federal government is weak, and that's why I think they have the vagaries in this 6-point plan. That's why they're not putting numbers in there. It's not to give them room to move laterally. It's because they don't want to have to be beholden to any benchmarks that they set right now. That's my take on it. Could be wrong. But the 4th point is increased testing and masking requirements. The fifth point is to, air quote, protect the economic recovery, which is non-existent right now. We're recovering in the wrong direction. So what do the Marines say? We're not retreating, we're just advancing in a different direction. It's like that. We're not recovering. The economic recovery seems to be going in the incorrect direction currently. And again, there's no specificity provided on how they are going to protect the economic recovery. Y'all that have been here for a long time know that I'm a laissez-faire guy. Keep your damn hands off of the economic system, and that goes for giant businesses. And what's up, try and survive. That goes for big business as well as government. Just keep your greasy little fingers out of it. Again, all by design. Oh, I agree completely. It's the thing. It's called the Great Reset. So, and then step 6, or the 6th point, was to improve care for those with COVID. Let's just say the word. Let's get thrown off the internet this morning. Maybe they're just going to give you ivermectin when you get diagnosed with it. Or maybe not. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe these improved. Have you heard that the improved care facilities are all surrounded by razor wire fence, and they're staffed up by, USA teams that, blah, 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 spaceship door gunner operators? Shut the fuck up. I got to tell you also, within the context of what we've been doing for the last 10, 11, 12 days, 12 now, I don't give a rat's ass about this prepper conspiracy theory bullshit right now. I've always entertained it just a little bit, but I've always had really short patience, low tolerance for the crazy stuff. We are living in the crazy stuff right now here. When people say, well, when the shit hits the fan, a whole bunch of shit hit the fan out here for 277 miles in a row. Everybody's telling me what they're going to do when the world ends. They can't even get off their own couch to come assist. Nobody does nothing. It's just blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Fear porn, doom mongering, theories, and it's like ancient aliens on the History Channel. Could it be possible if ancient aliens flew to Earth and put double stuffed Oreos in a cave in the Midwest 12,000 years ago? It could be possible. And then the rest of the episode is based upon the possibility that aliens put double stuffed Oreos in a cave in the Midwest as if it was a fact, right? The same thing happens in all these bullshit YouTube prepper conspiracy theory channels, and 12 reasons the zombies are going to rape your dog and eat your kids, and the 14 things you gotta have in your bug out bag for the world ends. And shut up. Shut up. Shut up. If you're not out in the field using your stuff, doing the things, I don't want your opinion. I don't want to know what you think, because you're not doing it. It's all theory. I think that, not I know that. Shut up. Be quiet. Take your green screen down out of your garage and shut up. So, with that, I love y'all. You're the best. Shout out to our patrons, patreon.com, Bear Independent. Just search for us at patreon.com. Couldn't do it without you patrons. I mean, literally. Grindstone is a self-supporting ministry, and Patreon is part of the thing, part of the reason I am able to come out here self-supported and not take, nobody gets paid at Grindstone, right? Like, Patreon helps me do what I do here. And so thank you. Thank you for supporting that. I want to give a shout out to Covert Threads Socks. They don't pay me any money to say that, but I'm telling you, I have had Covert Thread socks on my feet for the last 12 days. They're freaking awesome. They're great. So, Covert Threads socks. USMC veteran makes awesome socks. And so if you need awesome socks, Covert Threads, check them out. Also, briefly, in my cami pocket for the last 12 days has been an insert out of an SOB kit from Refuge Medical. Got all the stuff in here I need for bleeding control. Fits perfectly in a cargo pocket on your pants, whether they're cop pants or military pants or EMT pants. Something to consider. The SOB kit from Refuge Medical. And we had to use a stomp bag for a busted tib fib on site 3 or 4 days ago. So you never know when you're going to need the stuff. So get the stuff, Refuge Medical. And lastly, grindstoneministries.com. Thank you to every one of you who has supported what we're doing out here, to every one of you who has shown up to help us do the things out here, to everybody who's brought material goods, whether they be chainsaws or canned goods or skid steers or all the things. Thank you. Couldn't do without you. It is very real. Here. Our team is going to be sifting through debris today for a woman who lost 5 of the 9 occupants on property, including her parents. When I say sifting debris, basically like a crime scene going through. And picking through the rubble to recover what they can of this woman's life before we push what's left of her house into a pile and the county comes and picks it up and takes it to the dump. And that is one woman in one little town in a series of storms that was 277 miles long. So, thank you for supporting what we do. Couldn't do it without you. Y'all are badass. Father Yah, good morning. Thank you for these people, Father, and thank you for an opportunity to be your hands and feet. Father, thank you that you could love the likes of us and make a way for us to come home again by the blood of your Son. Father, thank you for being bigger than all of this. Father, I pray that you'd be with all the first responders today. Father, that you would be with all the people that have lost somebody from these storms, or lost something from these storms, everybody who has had their life absolutely wrecked, that you would be made manifest in their life, and that you would show up in a way that's truly miraculous and inexplicable and can be accounted only to you. Father, I pray that you would move in ways that are truly undeniable so that you can build testimony in people, and that you can reach them. Show how freaking awesome you are. And Father, I thank you that in spite of the fact that this storm wrecked so many things, it has created so many opportunities to minister and to witness and to stand in awe of who you are and what you do and how you do it. I pray that you just continue to allow us to be the light. And you would fill us up with your Ruach HaKodesh, your Holy Spirit. for wisdom and discernment, to know right from wrong, to know go from no go, to know yes from no. Father, for strength to endure and to fear nothing but you. Father, for peace that surpasses all understanding. Even in the midst of all of this that's been going on. Father, for healing. Mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, physical healing. Father, thank you for these people. Thank you for this day. I pray that you'd make your face to shine upon us, and that you would give us your shalom, your peace this day, and pour out a special blessing on your children. In Yeshua's name, amen.